Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing really great. So this video is going to be an introduction video. Introduction of a project that we are going to build. And this project is basically going to be a real world product. Alright. By a real world product, it means that this project we are going to start from scratch. Right. And we are going to build end to end pieces of all the components that are required to create a real world product. All right. Real world product means that it can be sellable. Okay. Now, by sellable, I do not mean that our project that we are trying to build is going to be a product that I'm going to sell. But it is going to be a project that is going to be on the same level, but it is a concept project, which means that I'm not going to sell it, but I'm going to create it in such a manner that it can be considered as the same. So by concept project, again, I mean that this project is completely dependent upon data engineering. And we are going to apply major components or major concepts of data engineering, and we are going to integrate these components with each other in order to create this one project that we are trying to build. Okay, so as I said, that it is going to be a data engineering backed product that we are trying to build. We will have to take in consideration all the different components that are used in data engineering. Let's say, for example, that in data engineering, we use SQL plus we use NoSQL, right? Plus we use data warehouses, plus we use maybe vector DBs and much more, right? So all of these are not necessary to be used altogether, but if we are trying to learn data engineering, we should know all these different products or tools that we're talking about. So in this project, I'm going to use almost all of these. So you might think that there is not a need of, using two databases. We could have done with only one database. So I just want to make sure that we are covering all the topics that are covered in data engineering so that we can have an idea on how to use these and how to build products backed by these things. So we are basically going to cover different tech stack. That is the only idea. So what this product that we're talking about actually is, this product that we are talking about is actually a DVD rental e-commerce store. So this DVD rental store, why DVDs? DVDs are outdated. Why we are using it? So there is a reason. I could have used, let's say I could have used some streaming platform, right? Like I could have tried to build some streaming platform only. But in that streaming platform, maybe we will not be able to implement the geo tracking, maybe. And maybe we will not be able to use, I would say, the payments and checkouts, reviews and everything. So we could have used most of those things in streaming, but I wanted it to become, into it to have even with the inventory management as well. So that is why I have thrown such a component that it can be implemented as a streaming service as well, and it can also have the features of real physical products as well, right? So that is why I have taken up this DVD rental thing. All right. So now, as I already told you, there's going to be a DVD rental store. So this DVD rental store is going to have different components. As like any product that you see, any app, any SaaS that you see, right? It has different components. What are those components? It can be, first of all, a front end, right? It can be a back end. It can be a database, right? It can be let's say data warehouse. It can also have maybe an analytics dashboard, right? It can have different microservices as well. right? For example, microservices such as, let's say, uh, machine learning model that we can build in order to create a recommendation system or something. And it will also have maybe user navigation, right? Which in which we might use tools like Kafka and everything. We can create an analytics dashboard for the owner, right? We can have databases and data warehouses for inventory and transactional, these kind of databases that are there. So right now, this is the idea, and this is a complete package that we will be working on. So what I am going to do is I am going to create multiple videos, and each video will be a project in itself, which is going to ultimately, so each video, as I said, is going to be a project in itself. So each video or each product will ultimately be integrated into the same thing. So the foundation of each product or each project that we will be building as we go will be in context of creating it for this. For example, right now I have created the first component of this, that is the initial data loading services, right? So it is basically an ETL pipeline, we can say, and this ETL pipeline is simply going to load the data that we will be using on our DVD rental stores front end. So as I said that it is going to be backed by data engineering, so automatically the data becomes the most important part, correct? So as data is the most important part, and I also told you that we want to use different tools so as to get the understanding and implement them in something real. So I have divided this data into two parts. First part is the content data, and the second part is the transactional data. So by content data, I mean that this is the metadata, all right? This is the metadata. Now, this metadata is actually the data of the movies and TV shows. So the data of these movies and TV shows is what is going to be rendered on the front end. And so we should have actually a source of this database, right? This data has to come from somewhere. So that source of our database is nothing but the TMDB API. So it's a free API that is available on the internet, and it can provide us with the metadata of movies and TV shows. It is also going to provide us with the images that are used, or maybe the video trailers that are used, right? So you can go on the internet, you can search for TMDB API and you can look for it. And you can even go to the GitHub repository of mine, which I'm going to show and mention in the description as well. You can check out those and you will be able to understand better. So now, as I said, that data has to come from somewhere. So that source of our data is going to be the TMDB API. So all of that data we are going to fetch and load, right? So that data is going to be in thousands or even more than that, right? So we are at least going to load more than 50,000 movies maybe, right? So in order to load these 50,000 movies, right, we will have to create a system. We will have to create a pipeline because we are trying to simulate a real world environment, right? So we will have to create an ETL pipeline. So in this video, that the project that I'm going to discuss, I have created the same pipeline only. So what that pipeline is nothing but that a simple system that I have created. And that system is going to handle all the things. It is going to fetch data from the API. It is going to load that data into our MongoDB. Because this data that we are going to get is going to be in document format, right? So as it is going to be in document format, I have decided to use NoSQL for such data, right? So we are going to use MongoDB to store this data We will be creating collections and everything. For MongoDB, if you guys want, how I have created, although I have saved all the information about this in the README and everything, but still, if you want me to create a video on this, I will be happy to create a video around this as well. But right now, I'm just going to discuss what I have created, and we are going to see how the functionalities of this thing work. So, this is the system that I have created, and I have created some data architecture in MongoDB. So, we are going to fetch this data from TMDB API, and we are going to store it. As we are using the free API, these are having some limitations. So, I'll have to handle those limitations as well into the system. So, as we go on, I will be able to explain you everything that I am trying to say here. Now, let me just explain you what we have created basically and how the ETL pipeline works. So, basically, this is an ETL pipeline, but I have created it in such a manner that I have created my own package and my own modules. All right. So, I have created my own package, I have created my own modules, and along with this, I have built my own server as well. And that server is nothing but another laptop which is having Ubuntu in it. So, that laptop I'm going to use as my server. That's all. So, that is what I have done. So, we will be deploying all of all of the things on the Ubuntu server itself, and so as to stimulate the real world practices, right? So, as I said that I have created my own packages, I have created my own modules, and these modules are basically reusable, even for you guys. If you will clone my repository, you will be able to use these packages and modules as well. So what these packages and modules does is that they are going to provide you all the endpoints automatically. You only have to mention what you want to fetch. It is automatically going to handle the parameters for you. It is going to provide you with all the clients that are being used. Clients, by mean that the TMDB API client, the MongoDB client. So how I have created it, let's discuss its functionalities and the system design of how I have created this complete ETL pipeline along with the modules. So basically, I have created this central, this is the central part, right? So this is the directory, right? This is the package, you can say. And within this package, there are several other packages. So this is the main package, and the main package is known as config. So what this config does is that this config is directly connected to my environment variable, right? To my environment files, basically. So this is where you are going to store all your credentials, and this config is going to configure the clients for you using those credentials. The clients for you, the TMDB API key, the MongoDB credentials and everything. So this config module is going to handle and provide you with the database that you want to use, and it is also going to provide you with the keys and everything. Basically, it's not going to provide you with the keys, but it is going to provide you what you need to use, right? So you need to use the URL and parameters, right, in which the API key will already be there. So you do not have to worry about this thing. So it is going to keep your credentials away from the source code. This is one functionality of config. Along with this, I have also created an endpoint config in this. So this is the config module, and it is also using the endpoint config. This endpoint config is nothing but the configurations of each API. So there are different APIs in TMDB, right? And for different APIs, because we are using the free version, we will have to make sure that we are not, exceeding the capping that they have done on their API calls, right? So there are few cappings. So we have to fetch the data in such a manner so that we can maintain the rate limits and we can also maintain the capping of how much data we can fetch and in one go, right? So I have created a configuration for that. Now, using this configuration, what I will be doing is that I will be using this configure, which is going to config module, which is going to handle all fetch the correct configuration from here, and it is going to pass these configurations along with the parameters into the system. Now, this is basically the one which handles all the configurations, from where the API is going to come, from where the data is going to be fetched, from where the keys are going to come. So that is how it is going to handle it. And here we are having the complete configuration. Let me show you what do I mean with this endpoint configuration. As you can see, we have this content data. We can go in the load bulk data that I just showed you. Then there is the config. Then there is the endpoint config that I'm talking about. So this is the endpoint configuration, right? So here you can see that there are different types of endpoints that we want to hit in order to fetch the data. So there is one endpoint called discover, and in discover there are two types, that is movie and TV shows. So we are going to specify which type we want. Then this type is going to provide you with the path of the endpoint and the base URL we are already having in this, right? So we are going to combine this in order to create the R URL. Then we are going to just simply pass the headers if required. And then this main thing is the parameters. So what we are doing is we are just fetching the data date wise. So I want to see that between these dates, release dates basically. So I want to fetch the first page of the API, right? So, and here the API key is being fetched. So we are having these placeholders where you will have to specify. You will not have to do anything, although it will be handled by the config module that I showed you. And let me just show you as well. So here you can see that the parameters are being handled. We are, just passing on the default parameters, and whenever we are using these default parameters, we'll also be using this set TMDB parameters in order to set the parameters that we are trying to build here. Okay, so you are just going to pass some parameters into this with the keyword arguments that you want to change, and with these keyword arguments, it is just simply going to update your parameters, and this function is going to give you the updated parameters using which you can make the API call. So that is how you are going to get this. Then we are also going to get the MongoDB credentials and everything. As you can see, I've also included proper doc strings along with the usage and with the information about the module that we are talking about, right? So as I said that I am going to simulate proper environment. So I have written the code in that manner only. Right. Now, let's come back. Now, as I told you about the config and the endpoint config, and I said that is going to provide you with the TMDB configuration and the parameters, and it's also going to provide you with the Mongo client. Now, this is the fetch IDs module. Now, this fetch ID module is going to use two things. It is going to use asynchronous programming, and it is also going to use multi-threading. Okay, so this fetch module is going to use these two things in order to fetch yearly data. As you can see that this is the load bulk data package that we are talking about, which means that we are not here talking about specific data. This module is basically created to fill or populate our database initially. So that we can populate our database initially, or if we need any specific year, right, that needs to be populated, we are going to do that as well using this module, right? So this fetch IDs module, what it's going to do is, in order to get any detail, any metadata about any movie or TV show, you basically need IDs, the movie IDs that are the IDs of TMDB IDs, basically. So you need the movie or TV shows ID. So this fetch module is going to help you. You only need to specify the discover module. You will see this in TMDB TMDB documentation, that what I'm talking about. If you want, I can create a video on that as well. So there is the discover endpoint, and then there is a type. So what type we want to specify? So I want to let's say I want to get the IDs of the movie. So I'll have to specify the type of movies that I showed you in the config as well, right? So this fetch module is basically going to take in the year, right, which you want to fetch, along with it is going to fetch the type, right? You only need to specify two things, and this fetch module is going to give you all the list of all the movie IDs, right, or TV show IDs that are released or aired on that year, which are present in the TMDB API database, I would say. Now, after this, once we are having all the fetch IDs, which we are having all the IDs of the movies, we can use those IDs in order to get the movie details. What are these movie details? These movie details are nothing but the the basic details, right? What are the what was the cast, what was the images that were used, and what were the release date, what was the overview, right? These kind of details. Then we are having the images. So it is the collection of each image, and images can be posters, right? It can be backdrops, it can be logos, right? So this image collection is going to have all of this data of the same movie, right? For the same movie ID. Then we are going to have videos, right? So in videos, we will be having the trailers, right? We are going to have the simple clips, maybe behind the scenes, whatever we have there. Then the last thing is people, right? People are basically the credits. The credits as in what was the cast, what was the crew, that is what we are going to get. So this movie details module is going to use these fetch IDs, the IDs fetched from this, and it is going to use, it is also going to use async programming, and it is going to fetch you all of these details, and it is also going to load this data into NoSQL database of ours, in which we have created these 4 collections. The 4 collections are details, images, videos, and credits, right? So this data we are going to collect into our database for around 50,000 movies, right? And these 50,000 movies are going to be the collection that we are going to render on our front end. And these 50,000 movies or TV shows are going to be our inventory for the store. So this is what I have created. And let me just show you all the repository where you can go and check this out. I have mentioned each and everything into this, and I would really encourage if you all can go and go through my code, and even you can let me know that this things can be done better or maybe something else. So so that I can also have good understanding on what I'm trying to do here. All right. So one more thing that I want to share with you, that all of this that I just told you, this is basically the functionalities, right? These are the modules and packages that are going to use. Now, what I have done is I have created the actual pipeline now using these packages and modules. So this ETL pipeline is basically deployed now on my Ubuntu machine, right? It is now deployed, and now it is using the cron jobs. I have scheduled it for each day, each year is going to be fetched, right? Each year is going to be fetched. Yes. And also one more thing, I have also added logging into this, right? So that we can track logs and we can see that if there is any breakage, we will know. So the next steps of this whole process is going to be, I am going to create a backend API. I'm going to create a backend basically using Fast API, right? And all of this is done in Python only. And now, along with this, I am also going to, create another pipeline basically, and that pipeline would be for the changes. There is a API in TMDB with changes. So this changes API, what it does is that it gives you the updated data that keeps on changing. And what I will do basically is this: I'll just take this updated data, and I'm also going to update my database as well on a daily basis. So this pipeline, that the above pipeline that I said that has been deployed, this is actually also a daily one, but it is going to be used for only like 4 to 5 days until I am having enough data for myself. That's all. So once it is this is completed, we will be moving on creating the Fast API. Then we will be creating the let's say the Kafka streams for user navigations, or maybe I'll work on front end. We will see. But next steps would be these two things, and we are going to even create more and more things as we go. Please let me know how do you find this project, and I am really very hopeful to hear from you guys. Let's see how it goes, and thank you very much.